But that was basically it for my pros.
As you can see, it's a very short list.
I was very disappointed. Maybe that's just me. And y'all are just gonna take that out? Like,
Why would you do that?
I feel like movie directors hate readers, so I feel like they do it purposely, where they take out very important parts of the book just to irk us, and it's working.
It's working a lot.
Hey guys, HB here, welcome back to another one of my videos. Today's video, we are going to be doing a comparison of 5 Feet Apart the movie and 5 Feet Apart the book. Last week I did a reaction video to the movie 5 Feet Apart, and I have mentioned that this movie was not my favorite. I had a lot of cons more than I had pros, so today we're just gonna go through the whole list of everything that I liked and everything that I disliked. Before we get into the whole spiel, I understand that this is a movie, so at most it's gonna be like an hour and a half to 2 hours, so they have to condense a whole 400 page book into an hour and a half. So I understand that. I get that. But I feel like in general, movies always leave out very important parts and they just keep the very general aspect of it, which I don't understand. Why don't they just change it into a TV series? But that's a whole argument in itself. Also, I feel like I'm gonna say this for someone out there, but this is gonna be all spoilers. I don't know why I need to say that, but I feel like I do. I'm gonna be talking about the movie as well as the book. So if you're planning on reading it or watching it, I would recommend not watching this video. Let me start off with the pros of the list, because I'm just telling y'all,
It's very short.
first and foremost, I really like the actor and the actress who played the roles of Stella and Will. Haley Richardson, she played Stella, and then Cole Sprouse played Will. So Stella in the book, she has OCD, which she also mentions in the film. She's a very happy, positive girl despite her circumstances, and I'm just gonna write down what she has. She has CF, and I think Haley does an amazing job on capturing that aspect of Stella. And also, just side note, she's freaking gorgeous, beautiful. I love everything about her. I want to be her. I grew up watching Zack and Cody, and out of the two, Cody was always my favorite. So I was really excited to hear that Cole Sprouse was playing in this, but at the same time, I didn't really think Cole fit the role of Will very well. Just the way that I pictured Will in my head was just not Cole. So in the beginning, I was a little iffy, but as I was watching, I really did like the way that he was very sarcastic. Will in the book, he's very playful, he's kind of a rebel, the typical bad boy, I guess you can say, in young adult books. And I think Cole really brought that out in Will. So, you know, in the beginning, I was a little iffy, but it turned out to be fine. He was really good. So the two characters, I think they did an amazing job on fitting the roles of Stella and Will. I also love Poe. I actually didn't know this, but while I was watching it, I was like, he looked so familiar. Who is he? Turns out he was in Hannah Montana, which I also grew up watching, so that was very exciting to see, but it was very heartbreaking to see the live action of Poe's death. I did cry. That was actually the only time I cried watching the film. One thing I guess I didn't realize before, but I realize now, reading is so much less cringier than it is seeing it happening in real time. In the book, it's just very emotional, very like heartwarming, but then you watch it happening and it's just very awkward and very cringe. Definitely there are scenes where it's a lot more cuter seeing it happening than reading it. Like on Will's birthday when she did the whole balloon chase thing. Oh my gosh, I found that so cute. When I was reading it, it was still very cute. I loved every single moment of it, but again, it's like a different kind of like joy, I guess, when you see the visual aspect of it. So there are some moments like that that I found very cute. But that was basically it for my pros.
As you can see, it's a very short list.
Now, my main issue that I had with this movie was the fact that the whole film was only focused on Stella and Will's relationship. And I think that's a problem with a lot of movie adaptations, is they only focus on the main characters and none of the relationships with the other characters matter. Which for this book specifically, I feel like the side characters are very important. We get like a small scene of Stella talking to her mom in the cafeteria for a few minutes in the film. And I don't remember for sure, but I think she does mention that her parents are divorced. At the end, when she's in the surgery room, we see her parents kind of leaning on each other for comfort. And someone who read the book, I was very thrown off. Like,
Did we just miss something? I feel like we just missed the whole entire scene.
Because her parents are supposed to fight.
and I always thought that was very important to the storyline. Even for Will, he actually does not have a good relationship with his mom, and they're actually supposed to fight. So I found that to be a little weird that they took that out. I feel like Will's fight with his mom was very important into his character growth as well. I think out of all the characters, Will goes through the biggest character growth, but the movie doesn't really portray that well. His character is supposed to be very carefree. Like, he does not care about his regimen. He's very irresponsible, a rebel, if you want to say. But I feel like in the movie, they kind of automatically made him into a softie. He just kind of automatically falls in love with Stella, and I understand that there's a time crunch because it's a movie, but I personally think it does not display his reckless side enough. which leads me to the end, which is just, oh my gosh. We're not talking about the end yet, so we're just gonna backtrack a little bit, and we're gonna talk about the scene where Stella falls into the lake and Will ends up giving her mouth to mouth. Up until that point, things were good. We were fine. There was nothing wrong with it. But tell me why. I legit thought that they killed off Will. I was shook. I really wasn't expecting that. I knew that the ending of the movie was not the same as the book, but at the same time, I didn't know what to expect. I was actually so shocked for a good 30 seconds. I even showed in the reaction video. I just sat there staring because I had no idea what to do. I was like,
Really? This is how you guys are gonna end it?
but luckily he's fine, he's alive. But wow, I almost threw a fit. And now let's talk about the two endings. Personally, I find it so tragic that they cut out the last part of it. The way that the story ends, either way, is a bittersweet ending. There's just no easier way to put it. Both characters are very aware that in the long haul they cannot be together because of their conditions, and if they do, they can quite literally kill each other if they are not more than 6 feet apart from each other. So let's talk about the movie first. The movie ends with a light scene, and for those of you who only watched the movie, the light scene actually does happen in the book as well. It's just there's a few more chapters added onto it, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But anyways, for those of you who need a quick refresher, Stella and Will, they leave the hospital to go look at the lights. This was right after Poe's death, so both of them are very distraught and very shocked on what happened. And on the way to see the lights, Stella gets a phone call saying that they have new lungs for her and that she needs to get back ASAP. This is when the whole mouth-to-mouth, I thought Will was dead happened. So we're just gonna fast forward a little bit. Now, this is after her surgery, she's resting, and Will makes the ultimate decision to be the adult and the responsible one and end things off with her. Because they're on their way to see the lights, he decides to throw her a light show outside of her window. So when she wakes up, he turns on the lights, gives her one last phone call, and basically ends things off with her. This is a very emotional scene. I bawled my eyes out reading it, but it wasn't as heartwarming watching it. I don't know, maybe it's because I felt like it was kind of butchered in some way. I was very disappointed. Maybe that's just me. Anyways, let's talk about the book now. This happens in the book, but what happens after that is we skip a couple months and the two have not spoken to each other or seen each other in a very long time. Will is still very sick and he's at the airport with his friend Jason, where he runs into Stella with her group of friends. It ends on Stella's chapter, so let me just read it to you because I think it sounds better that way. And then I know he's there even before I see him. Will, I stand frozen in place as he looks up and our eyes lock. The familiar blue that I've dreamt about for so long almost knocking me off my feet. He's still sick. Portable oxygen slung over his shoulder, his face not and tired. It's almost a physical pain to see him like this, to feel my lungs filling anew when his can't. But then his mouth turns into a lopsided smile and the world melts away. It's Will. It's really him. He's sick, but alive. We both are. I take a deep, unhindered breath and walk over to him, stopping exactly 6 feet away from him. His eyes are warm as he takes me in. No portable oxygen, no difficulty breathing, no nose cannula. I'm practically a different Stella, except for one thing. I smile at him and take just one more stolen step until we're 5 feet apart. For those of you who don't remember, in the movie as well as in the book, Stella makes a video called If There's a Will, There's a Way. And in that video, she mentions that a pole stick is roughly around 5 feet apart. This is a very heartwarming and emotional scene where she basically says CF is no longer the thief and she is going to be stealing 1 feet away from that 6 feet apart rule so that they can be 1 feet closer to each other. Which is why the book is called 5 feet apart instead of 6 feet apart. And I just found that so cute. So I was so upset to hear that the movie cut out that ending part because it's just so like symbolic. Like that's the whole reason why the book is called 5 feet apart and y'all are just gonna take that out. Like
Why would you do that?
I feel like movie directors hate readers, so I feel like they do it purposely where they take out very important parts of the book just to irk us, and it's working.
It's working a lot.
Anyways, that was my long rant on how I felt about the 5 feet apart movie. I will give this movie a 5 to 6 out of 10. It's definitely not the best, but it's not the worst either. I think I'm just being a little biased at this point because the book was so good. I'm just glad I watched the movie. I've been wanting to watch this for a very long time now, so I finally got around to it. Now that I think about it, I don't think I ever did a 5 feet apart book review. I gotta do that now, huh? Who's sick of the 5 feet apart content? Because I'm not. I hope you guys like this video. I know there's a lot of books right now turning into movies or TV shows. Like I think Akuto's coming out with one. I think Hush Hush is also in the making. So we got a long list ahead of us. But for now, this was my review of 5 feet apart. Let me know what you guys thought. I will be doing a spoiler-free review, which is, I don't know if it's necessary anymore, but I'll be doing that in a video soon. Maybe next week. Maybe the week after that. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I hope you guys liked it. That was it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below and make sure to listen to them. And I'll see you guys next time with HB. Bye!
Take it to the curb!